And so we will move on to our OL Reign now.
Yeah, so some interesting stuff for the Reign. Obviously, they had a match to play, and we'll get to that in a second, but also some roster-related stuff, some awards. So Reign had a pretty packed week. On the 12th at the San Diego Wave, a rematch of earlier in the season, and obviously these teams are going to play each other a lot just because of their geographical locations.
Mhm.
But San Diego's been at the top of the NWSL regular season table for around the beginning of the season. So they've been top dog for a bit. Seattle was able to force a draw after giving up an early goal. Jess Fishlock scored right before half. She'd be of our player of the game with a goal, 90 minutes played, 2 total shots, a 7.9 match rating, drawing 3 fouls, and completing 80% of her passes. San Diego's got a lot of talent. Granted, they are an expansion team, and we've got our things about expansion teams, but I think I was thinking about it when we were getting towards the end of that game. Draws against teams like San Diego, I can accept, but just I didn't get to fully see the attacking stats on it just because of the Mariners and the Seawolves yesterday.
Mhm.
But you can't just draw your way through the season. At some point, there has to be like a breakthrough with the scoring, and I know that they're working on that, and that's coming. But that's, I think, when you need to see like a couple goal performance, I think, to see them break through and then hit their stride fully.
Yeah.
But luckily, they'll be able to return home here soon after this matchup, and maybe that can help spark it. So, moving on here to team-related news. On the 9th, 2 things happened for the Reign. The first being the Reign acquired $40,000 in allocation money. You see they're split between 2022 and 2023. So the Reign acquired that money from Angel City FC, the other expansion team, in exchange for a 2022 one-year international roster spot. Don't know what Angel City will use that for, but certainly interesting to see how that plays out for them, noting what we received for it and what Angel City might use that for.
Mhm.
Also on the 9th, 4 Reign players were named to the May Best 11. Goalkeeper Fallon Tullis-Joyce, defender Alana Cook, defender Sofia Huerta, and midfielder Rose Lavelle. I mean, you and I have talked about Fallon before. It's no
Several
surprise with how good Fallon's been this year to see her up there, but also those 3 I feel like have been earning honors all season. Those three in addition to Fallon have been earning honors all season. So not really surprised to see that, but just again looking to fully see that goal breakthrough to not only help the scoring but also help Fallon out too,
Yeah.
just to give her some cushion. So continuing forward, this one's not like directly related, but because of when we say OL Reign, right? It used to be Seattle Reign. The Olympic Lyon is the like parent club. They are effectively, they're already a club in Spain, but they're acting like a manager in a way in which they run most of the way that the Reign operates now. Lyon, the parent company, the parent club, was sold to Foster Gillette. It's currently unsure how this will affect the Reign, but it's certainly interesting to note that their parent club was sold, right? So
Yeah.
interesting to keep an eye on that. I don't really think that there will be much that goes on, but still something to just, keep
Look
an
out
eye
for.
on and just note that that took place.
Yeah.
Um, in roster news, on the 11th, before the matchup with San Diego, Laura Harvey announced that Kim Little is not with the club yet. She does have her visa. She's working on that. They're going through the process of it, and she should be ready to go next week. But it has been approved. She's just not there yet. And then Jess Fishlock and Megan Rapinoe were both fine coming off of injuries last week, and both did play in that June 11th match. And then also in relation to the Reign, this was announced just an hour ago or so, but the Reign had 4 players named to the U.S. the U.S. women's national team's roster for the June friendlies that they're going to have, which will be interesting. I know that we talked about with Kim Little. she's going to be really helpful with the international breaks that are going to happen. So Alana Cook, Sophia Huerta, Rose Lavelle, and Megan Rapinoe were all named to the U.S. women's national team's roster for June friendlies. So interested to see how that plays out. And I mean, you're losing two key defenders. You're losing a really creative midfielder. Megan is able to impact the game so much. So important losses, but obviously hoping for the best for them in their international appearances. In league-related news, on the 7th, Orlando had a couple of coaches placed on leave. The Pride head coach, Amanda Cromwell, and assistant Sam Green were currently under investigation for alleged workplace misconduct. I don't think much needs to be said about this. Just it's disappointing that, again, in a league that you want to see succeed with these women, great women in it, it's just disappointing to continue to see coaches, head coaches, people in these roles that are supposed to be supporting these women continue to be, held accountable for things like this. So we'll keep up on stuff like this, but it's just disappointing to continue to see. The Reign sit at a 2-win, 2-loss, 4-draw record. 4 draws. I mean, 6th in the NWSL table at the moment. Their next match is June 18th versus Angel City FC. That is a 7 p.m. start time later in the day than that Sounders match, as we mentioned, is Juneteenth. Obviously, as we mentioned in the Mariners segment. But if things go well, and as we said with Kim Little's visa, it should be her first home game in Seattle since 2016. So that'll be pretty exciting. If you're new with the Reign and you're watching the show and you're like, who is this girl that they keep talking about? She was very instrumental to women's soccer in this city. And if you're not going to the Mariners games, if you're going to the Sounders game and you have time afterwards, or if you want to support women in sports, let alone women in soccer, I would buy tickets to that game. I would check that out. Angel City's got a lot of talent too. They're a brand new club. They're like strictly women owned. So I'm just giving you reasons here.
Mm-hmm.
You should be doing it anyway, but I'm giving you more reasons.